Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast, a show with meaningful conversations in English with non-native speakers such as myself, Jedrek.
And myself, Masha. Ooh, you
Wow,
changed the
that's a
formula.
nice intro.
You caught me
That's a nice
unawares.
All right. And Masha, there used to be that kind of line that we are two English teachers who, well, it's true that we are two English teachers, honestly, but we're doing what?
Who listened to by people all over the world. I want to say hi to this one
Yeah.
person in, what
El
was that?
Salvador.
El Salvador or Indonesia. Can you imagine
Let
there's
me
one
check.
person? Let's name these people, yeah? Let's name these countries and let them hear that we care about them and let them leave us a voicemail. Yeah, that's me,
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah, guys, a little bit of statistics for you to kind of understand this podcast.
The community.
Yeah, the community. Basically, we are being listened in Europe and more precisely in Poland, with 57% of our listeners coming from there. France and Ukraine are second, but Ukraine, Masha, I think you have something to say here. Ukraine scores only 10%. Why so low?
Because a lot of Ukrainians are now scattered around the world.
Exactly. So if we score, I don't know, 5% in Germany, it's probably maybe some of your students or things like that. And
but let's name these people who are not from
yeah,
Europe.
but then what's really interesting in these statistics are the countries that have something like below 1%, which means that maybe there was just one play or
one person in the whole country.
Yeah, but we've got Vietnam, Singapore.
Hello, Vietnam. Hello, Singapore.
Mozambique.
Oh, cool.
All right, I think Cameroon. Then we have exotic countries such as Pakistan, or there's Armenia, there's Bangladesh, there's Dominican Republic, there's New Zealand even, Kyrgyzstan. We've got basically the whole world here because we've got what's interesting, Sweden and Denmark also count as below 1%. Guys, if you know anyone from Sweden or Denmark, please, these are the countries that are so close. They should be listening to the Thinking Out Loud. Unless
if you are the one from these countries and you are listening, please leave.
Yeah.
Okay, just a comment, a voicemail, anything.
Yeah, and my favorite, El Salvador, and that is also listed here. Yeah, I wish we could meet, the person from El Salvador.
Oh yeah.
Unless, Masha, and I told you that before, unless some of these countries are basically different IP addresses that anyone can change.
I don't want to believe in this. I want to believe in real people in these countries. One person in this big country. I'd like to have these people on our show.
Yeah. What is actually? I'm checking it out. Morocco, 1%, but below that I see the Czech Republic or Czechia, less than 1%. Guys, you're our neighbors. Come on.
Come on, get in touch.
Yeah, get in touch. Yes, and I remember I was asking Kamila Linkova, who's a teacher of English in the Czech Republic, in Prague. I was asking her if she knows anyone who could participate in our show. But I guess this this subject just drowned somewhere, in thousands of messages and threads. But all right, I wish Masha, we could actually grow our audience in at least our part of Europe, so that the Central Eastern part of Europe. Not sure about Scandinavia because the folks there, they speak English like, native like.
Yeah.
It's actually fantastic. And I know if it has been researched, Masha, that the school system, because I think it's, I'm not sure about the source of the success of the Scandinavian countries in teaching English, because you can honestly speak with everybody in the street. in English, and they'll be able to tell you, whatever you want in English.
Have you been there?
Communicate. I've been there, yes. I mean, it's not. I've been
And you spent
once.
honestly one day, just stopping people in the street and
All right,
checking the
fine.
theory.
Yeah, okay, you've got me. But
Because
you're
I
right.
also
A
hear
lot of it.
stories that, in Scandinavian countries, all national TV is basically in English. But I'm not sure if it's true. I don't know.
No, that sounds weird, honestly, what you're saying. But
yeah.
I've heard, and it's true that perhaps it's an urban legend, but I tested it just once and well, proved correct. But if you ask for directions or anything, in the street in English in Sweden, you'll get an answer in English, from
In
people who
Sweden,
like.
where?
Yeah. Well, I was in Karlskrona, which is a small town,
Academic
full of
town.
full of tourists. That's true. So again, it might, I don't know if you go up north, somewhere. But what I wanted to say is that they have quite an efficient education system when it comes to language, not only languages, of course, but
When it comes to languages, what is their
when it comes to
secret?
languages, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I think it's basically a lot of hours early, and that's how they learn. I don't think, because if I think about the Polish system, for example, of which I am, the product. Basically, our language education is outsourced to private tutors. I don't think that school is teaching anything substantial. I mean, yeah, in my case, yeah, I had
the same in Ukraine right now.
decent language classes in my high school, but they're just decent, nothing more. And I had to take private lessons. So basically, the school system, and imagine this, you've got, I don't know what, 15, 20 students, because language classes, they used to be divided. So it's not like, because normally if you have a class of 30 students, right? I mean, imagine teaching language there. I mean, it's like, little China. But yes, that's how people learn. And also, I think if you go to any major or not major Polish town right now, you'll be able to communicate in English with people, I think. Of course, it might surprise some people, but the young people, they are absolutely competent, I think. So it's a huge change, within a relatively short period of time. I think I'm speaking about, I don't know, 20 years,
So we'd like to have somebody from a Scandinavian country on the show to get this firsthand.
Yeah, the insights, exactly. The insights, yeah, exactly, about how how English is being taught, and why is it actually, why does it have this reputation of being really, really good at a very high level. All right, so much about our audience. We are being listened to around the world, so it's great,
But somehow
it's
we don't have a guest today,
somehow we don't, out of all these countries, we couldn't
Not
fish
even
out
one
not even one
person.
person. Yeah, it's partially I am to blame, because I was
Come
too
on,
lazy.
no.
Too lazy
And actually,
asking
this
people.
show is meant for people like our listeners. We want them to not to wait for this perfect day when your English is perfect, but
Yeah,
just
exactly. Just
come to
jump
us
in.
with whatever English you have, and let's see if
Yes.
you can communicate.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, of course. All right. Masha, is there anything else you'd like to know about the gender of our listeners?
I don't know if it's even politically correct
Well, it is. I mean,
to ask about the gender.
51.5% are females, 47.7 are males, and then 0.4 are non-binary, and 0.4 again are not specified. So that's basically how it's how it looks like when it comes to the gender. All right.
It doesn't
Fine.
help. We still don't have a guest, either male or female or
Yeah,
whoever.
binary, non-binary,
Non-binary.
exactly. By the way, everybody is welcome here. We don't discriminate between, you
No,
know.
we don't.
All right, excellent. But language is
How about
like this.
age?
However,
Do we discriminate?
absolutely not. However, the majority of our listeners come from the age between 35 and 44. So
But we
that's, you
did
know,
have a couple
65,
of teenagers.
65.7%. Yeah, exactly. So like 0 to 17. So it's maybe my little son there. I'm kidding. He doesn't have any Spotify but it's 3.2, you know. So it's not much. But again, 45, 59, it's almost 12%. 60 plus, it's 6%. And for some reason, we are not really popular among 23, 27 because it's only 2%, you know. So it's like, you know, somehow people at this age have other things, better things to do than listen to the
Listen
thinking
to
out
us.
loud. All right. Great, Masha, but it's been a pleasure recording this podcast with you. All the 62, right? This is our 62nd episode.
62nd.
62nd episode. Can you imagine that? All right. We
It's
have to
nice.
slowly start thinking about some kind of a meetup when anniversary comes first, but then I guess some sort of a meetup when we hit 100, you know. So probably there's going to be a big
Big.
party
Big.
in Kiev.
Oh, let's hope it will
All
be
right.
in Kiev.
Yes. All right. Fine. So, folks, thanks a lot for listening to our little show. Thank you for all the stats. Like, you know, over
You're producing.
3,050 all-time plays. It's nice, you know. Great. Masha, we have a website that is currently undergoing certain changes. I mean, I'm changing the server, so it might not be working as smoothly as it used to, but I guess it will be operational when you listen to it. So it's tollpodcast.com. You can study with us, of course, and it's enough to go to another website that's also changing its hosting, but don't worry about the details. It's studiomentals.com. You can fill out the form and get in touch with us.
So it's a challenge, you know, to find us now.
It's quite a challenge. But it's never been easy, you know. It's never been easy.
Okay.
I think. If you think about the CEO, if you think about, you know, being on Google anywhere, you know, it's not like I ever wanted to be the top hit on Google, you know.
Oh, come on now. You never wanted.
I mean, imagine how problematic that would be, you know, with
Imagine
all the
people
people
Google
knocking on.
podcast in English and the first hit is, you know, oh,
Think
come on,
about
don't
that.
tell me you don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
it.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we should invest actually in some CEO, you know, and then I don't know what, you know. I was very often exploring the maybe not often, but recently, you know, I've been exploring the thought of let's say that there's a big partner coming on our show, like let's, I don't know, Busuu or any, you know, any major app, you know, who basically wants to advertise and want us to sell their product. And would we actually go for it? You know, I was and imagine that it changes. I mean, sort of, no, imagine that it doesn't change maybe the structure of the show or anything, but it makes you say things that, let's say, you don't agree 100% with. Like, you know, I recommend, you know, this or that app. I know, speaking to AI tutor, you know, or something like that. And I wonder if
You know, I don't think there is a bad way to learn a language. Anything works. Literally, I use, you know how it is today, this grammar translation method is frowned upon. But I think if it works for you, I mean, it's much better to do at least something, even if it's grammar translation, than nothing. So I don't think there is.
I like this relativist approach that, you know, everything works, so we can basically advertise anything here, dear advertiser. All right. No, I mean, it's interesting, you know. It's interesting if you know, if you think about the commercial potential of of a podcast, any podcast.
But you
know,
don't, you yourself, for example, you don't teach, how to say this, tenses, grammar. People need to learn it somewhere so that they come to you and they can string a sentence together.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're
why
right.
not
Yeah.
learn it on, I don't know, what are these apps? Lingualeo, Lingualio, Lingua,
Whatever. Yeah, I mean there are Duolingo. You mean?
Duolingo. I
Yeah,
don't
Duolingo.
remember.
Yeah,
I
it's
only use
Duolingo.
Memrise and Quizlet.
All right, fine. But anyway, I was just toying with this idea
I would happily
of
advertise Memrise.
selling
Memrise,
myself cheap.
if you're listening, we are happy to advertise you. We really
All
love
right.
what you're doing.
Great. Yeah, for all the contacts, commercial and non-commercial, it's tolpodcast.com. Masha, how about we go to the good old school thinking out loud, and
Let's do
let's
it.
ask each other one question.
Maybe we
And
won't be
let's.
able to do it anymore because we,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, right. I have this feeling that my brain is actually
because it's nice
super
to listen
lazy.
to somebody and just nod. It's mostly my part, in this podcast. And now I have to.
So how about I start by asking you,
Okay.
the first
Okay.
question, and then we'll see, if maybe it will wake you up from that slumber, intellectual slumber. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, round one. There's the gong. And Masha, what do you think? Which goal, in your opinion, is more realistic? I don't want to say easier because both are maybe difficult, but which one is more realistic to achieve? Get rich or get wise? There's an awkward silence.
Of course, my first thought was get rich. But for some reason, I'm still not. But maybe it's never been my
No,
goal.
I didn't say I didn't say which one is easier or if any of them is easy, but more realistic to to realize.
Realistic, both are realistic. Because some people are really. I've been thinking about it actually, because for some people, they understand, they just see money differently, It depends a lot on the way you were raised, because this is something your parents instill in you. They keep telling you that money doesn't make you happy. They try and raise you to be a good person first and foremost. And then you start seeing money as something. Don't want to say negative, but maybe
yeah, but I know what you mean, or at least not the top priority in your life, right? Making money is just just one aspect, but definitely not the most important one.
And then you have this thing, this belief somehow imprinted, and you act in life with this, something. It's always running somewhere at the back of your head. You don't even register it, but your actions. So, but some people, they see money differently. They see money as simply, a tool, because that's what money is. Money in itself, it's nothing, but what it can do, what it can, what you can do with it, rather, not what it can do to you, but you can do with it. Of course, it will make you much happy. I mean, it's much easier to.
So you say
live.
it's about the mindset. If you have certain mindset, but yeah, but I wonder if this is the same as having this sort of sixth sense for making money. That there are people who see opportunity everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a business opportunity here. There's a business opportunity there. Let's do it. And there are other people who basically can't.
Yeah, but to use these opportunities, to see them, you need to have this certain mindset, because it's a kind of freedom, you know. You don't think about, oh my God, what will people say? What will I do when, you know, money corrupts and all this stuff. It's so I don't know how some people. I personally have been able to raise, or I don't know, was it my doing to raise this kind of a person? And my attitude to money is totally different. But my son's attitude to money, well, I mean, we are very different when it comes to money. So somehow, I don't know how it happened. So maybe it's not upbringing.
No, so
But I said
it's definitely not
upbringing
so.
at the beginning.
Yeah, you said that that you can raise, but it's not like anything you can control. I mean, as a parent, right? Unless you, because maybe you did something unconsciously, right? Or maybe it was, or probably was, you know, observation. You know, I know that some millionaires, they come from actually very poor families.
Yeah.
It's not maybe the common scenario, but you know,
The
this is like
Cinderella story.
yeah, I mean, this is the reaction, or rather counter reaction to what was happening, you know. It's pretty much the same, like, you know, there are children of parents who abuse, I don't know, alcohol or something, and they are teetotalers, you know. So you know, it's kind of the reverse is happening, which doesn't mean that they but basically, for fear of repeating the same mistakes, you go in a totally opposite direction, and that's how you end up, for example, being very rich, because you know, because you saw that it has always been a problem in your life, and you know, just decided that.
So I know what you're probably driving at, that, you know, once you, let's assume you have this mindset, you want to be rich, then there is probably a way to, I don't want to say an algorithm, but your path is probably straightforward. You have to, you know, maybe go study, or study from the best, something like this, from millionaires. But if you want to become
I
wise,
think about,
where do you
but
find this, you know?
I guess the really big fortunes, like really big fortunes, they are always unique, right? So you can't like copy, you know, you can't, okay, I'm going to sign up for this course, and you know, I'm going to graduate from this school, and then, I mean, all you can do following this path is, I guess, you end up as middle class or higher middle class, you know, being a lawyer, or you know, some sort of a respectable profession, and then but rich is like, you know, like Zuckerberg's or Bill Gates or others, you know, Elon Musk, they were always you know, quite exceptional. I mean, and moreover, you can't repeat like, okay, I'm gonna drop out from college now because Gates did it or Zuckerberg did it, you know, because well, they did it, but they were lucky, but this path cannot be followed again, I guess. But you have to innovate. You have to do something else. I'm talking about you know, these fortunes, that huge fortunes.
Yeah, but you can become reasonably rich.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
by...
it comes down to what does it mean to be rich.
Yeah,
I heard from one of our former guests, from Patricia. I want to say hi again. She said that being rich is basically when you don't spend everything that you earn. So when you were able to have some savings, you know. It's an interesting definition. I'm not sure if I subscribe 100% to it, because, well, it doesn't make me rich that, you know, they have some savings. Imagine, you know, there is some tragedy happening and I have to spend all of it, you know, and what? I'm poor again, you know. So I don't know where is this threshold, you know, whether to be a, millionaire, billionaire, or what, you know, to be rich. But then again, it's also quite subjective, right? You may feel like, okay, I've got enough, and plus I've got savings, you know, I'm not you know, eating through all of my, because, you know, there are people like a former heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson, who, you know, who had earnings, colossal earnings, you know, millions of dollars, but he was spending more than he was earning, so the guy was actually in debt.
Yeah, and it's not a constant, you know. You get used to it, and then you stop feeling rich. You want more and more.
Yeah, exactly.
But wise,
Yeah, exactly. Getting wise. Let's get to the other thing. Of course, the question is once again, what does it mean to be wise? And it's horribly difficult to define, I think. But second, the path to it, does it go through what? Through libraries, reading
But
lots
you
of
know, it's
books,
not even a goal
talking to
people
people?
set to themselves. I mean, a lot of people set to
Yeah.
themselves a goal. I want to be rich.
Yes.
At least
Yes.
they said, I want to have, let's say, $1 million in my bank account, something like this.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody who, whose New Year resolution is,
I want to
I
get
want to
wise.
get 10% wiser than I am now by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you even assess that? Because richness, okay, it's relative, but at least
But wait,
you can put an, at least you can.
isn't that actually a great noble goal to get wise? And isn't that actually what we all feel, what we all want, but we never say it out loud explicitly? Because everybody, I guess, I mean, of course, given
If
the
you want to
chance,
be
rich or
rich, it's
wise,
not,
I
yeah,
take rich.
you wouldn't think of wise, you maybe think more of shrewd. That's the
Yeah,
quality you need.
yeah, yeah, you're right.
Because probably if you're super wise, you will never have a goal of becoming rich. You know how it is.
And
Wise
very
people.
often, yeah, and very often, if you look at the wanted to say multimedia, but not even that, the culture, wise people are very often poor people, like Saint Francis, or others, they suffer poverty and so on, but they're extremely wise, just because wisdom at one point, I think, turns you away from the material,
Yeah, just like I
right?
said.
And that's why you don't care about the material, and you end up being a beggar in the street who's very wise.
So
But then again, how do you think let's say that, okay, you wake up on the 1st of January and you set yourself that goal, I want to get wiser. So what do you actually do?
I would start a journal.
What?
I
Like,
think reflection is the first thing.
mhm.
You don't even, because many people would say I would start reading, like 50 books a year or something like that. But I think we
That
already
would
have
be my obvious answer.
abundance.
Well, it's a great, great answer, Masha, because it's kind of surprising. You're right.
You already
It's
have a lot. You just need to
Mhm.
reflect on it. And you yourself, I mean, if you only listen to yourself, think properly, not think what we are thinking,
Yeah, but
what am I going to cook for
yeah,
lunch?
you said starting a journal or a diary, but also a specific one that is focused on
Yeah, not
reflection, not
like
like
what I did
observations,
yesterday.
like, okay, yeah, I ate, I know, borscht and so on.
With beans, without beans, yeah. But yeah, reflection and proper thinking.
Yeah, that is very interesting. That's how it starts. So so wait, I don't want to draw too far-reaching conclusions, but this podcast is about reflection, so it's kind of, because we ask people stuff, to explain certain concepts and so on,
Oh, come on,
and
another
it's all.
ambitious goal. Yeah, you're so.
No, but if it's
We
just
make people wiser.
if it's just a small contribution, I'm not saying that this is the way to wisdom, but just a small contribution, to it, that reflection, because
God,
honestly,
it
I mean,
makes me feel
I mean,
great.
yeah, and people keep telling me this, that this podcast or the classes, which are sort of similar, they allow people to reflect, which is a rare moment in these days, a very
Yeah,
really
we
rare
often don't
moment.
have time. I mean, whenever I
Yeah.
have free time, what do? I grab my phone and read about,
Or
rockets.
you solve some administrative stuff,
Yeah,
like, okay, I
yeah,
have to set up, I have
yeah.
to make an appointment here. Okay, go there, the shopping list, and then, and
Mhm.
so at the end of the day, this is not reflecting. This is just, functioning,
And this
or
activity itself, imagine, I mean, a person sitting comfortably in his chair and you ask him like, what are you doing? It's idleness, but the person would say, I'm thinking, but we don't. It's frowned
exactly,
upon.
exactly.
You're wasting your time just sitting down in your chair. But that's what you do. That's what you need to do to think. Either walk, take a walk. And again, when you're walking, there's so much going on around you and you can get distracted. Well, at least you will jump from things to things. But
It's
when you
very
sit
hard.
in your room and have to think, can you imagine this?
Yeah, I mean, that would be meditation, right? No, it's not, because meditation is yet something else. Yeah, you're right.
Thinking. When you say, I need to think about it.
Yeah, reflecting. So like connecting the bits and pieces that you already have, like you said, because if you've lived like 30 or 40 years on this planet, you already have a lot
to think about.
Yes.
And all we do today is, for example, I only receive others' thoughts and reflections. So everything I read, it's what somebody else has said.
I mean, it could be later filtered, because otherwise, I don't want to say that reading is useless.
No, I don't want to say that. No.
Yeah, but you're right.
It's like balance. We don't think our own thoughts. We only read what others, maybe very smart
that's
people.
also that's also the power of the written language. That basically, if you have got a book and 100 readers, each one of them is basically building or constructing the meaning of that text on their own. It's not like, I think videos, I may be wrong, but videos are not like that. They guide you, they show you exactly, okay, that's, what
because
we want.
of the
message is clear.
visuals, yes.
Yeah, because of the visuals, yeah. But the text, you have to construct the meaning in your head on your own. And of course, how much you draw from a given text is to a large extent up to you.
And I'm sorry, but it doesn't always, and I would say today rarely leads to some kind of, reflection. You read, you construct the meaning, maybe you internalize something, maybe it will get you thinking about something else, but I don't know. In my case, it rarely does.
Yeah, that's the idea later of
And
book
very soon
clubs
you
or
forget.
conversation clubs, that you need to,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
order
yeah,
to
yeah,
reflect, you need to have a discussion, or because it's hard to do it on your own, within your own skull.
Yeah, but when you write, it's a very different thing.
Yeah.
When you think and you are writing, not conversing with somebody, but writing your thoughts on the paper. Oh, it's
I'm starting a journal. I'm starting a journal, I'm starting a journal this September.
You won't believe it, but I have already bought, how many are there? I can see 3 and 1 there, notebooks and nice pens to go with them, matching.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And what they are gaping at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea, So thanks a lot for that. Do we have any conclusion? I mean, because you said that still getting rich is somehow, I don't want to say easier, but yeah, in a way, maybe easier or more tangible, more realistic.
But for certain people with certain mindsets, like, and myself, I include myself in this category, it's not realistic at all. Oh, it
because of
pathetic.
your way of thinking about
just
money.
Said it.
Because no, but
I'm working
I guess
on it. I'm working on it.
I'm in the same camp. I'm in the same camp.
It's not mine. I don't want to say that I don't want to be rich, but
no,
maybe I'm
like,
super lazy. I don't want to work. First of all, I don't want to work super hard. Maybe it's because of the time I have left. I understand that half of my life, if I'm lucky, half, maybe even less. I mean, maybe even more has already passed.
Who knows? Yeah.
I don't want to work my ass off for the rest of the time. What, to be rich?
Yeah. And
but if somebody offered me,
this billionaire who meets a poor fisherman, right?
There are many stories like that. Which one do you have?
Well, they I mean,
Fishing rod.
No. I mean, the billionaire meets a poor fisherman somewhere in Dominicana. By the way, we
Yeah,
say
if
hi to
you have
everybody
the
from
Dominicana,
from
please leave us.
Dominicana. Yeah. There was less than 1% from Dominican Republic. And and the billionaire asked the guy, why don't you get a proper job, and start making money? And the guy asked, keep asking why. And in the end, the millionaire says that so that in the end you can just take holidays, go to the beach, and do nothing. So basically, do what the
That's
guy is
funny.
already doing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the logic behind it. But I would welcome
But the
anybody
rest of the
who's
time you
able
can
to,
enjoy
who's
caviar
able
and
to.
champagne.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. This is because I would welcome anybody who could debunk this simple story. What's I was thinking that there's lack of security definitely, in the case of that poor fisherman, right? Because the rich guy who's, well, for the time being doing the same, doing nothing, watching the blue sky. I think it's just the security factor, that the other guy, the rich guy, is somehow insured against calamities, anything, But really, is that the difference? It's interesting. All right,
But different
fine.
calamities happen to different people, and maybe if you're poor, the calamities against which this guy is insured don't just happen to this poor person.
Yeah,
See what I
sure.
mean? So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so in the end, you can really question the reason of getting rich.
no.
And I think it would be
Being rich
healthier.
is great, but
But I think it's great, but I think it would be healthier if en masse, if everybody's goal was to get wiser, rather than richer. I think that would be nice. I'm thinking about a little bit about climate change and the greenwashing that is all over right now. The media. And I see, right now there is no corporation that isn't engaged in some way, to reduce the CO2 emissions and so on. You drink a yogurt from your plastic bottle, then you just, you scan the QR code to see how sustainable we are or whatever, So basically, anywhere, I'm thinking, with this sort of engagement of the biggest players on the planet, the biggest producers, corporations, if they are so into this battle, climate will be saved, I'm sure, unless it's just a game, unless it's just a game, or a lot of it is just a game, because here we are, the polluters, the biggest polluters are so green. Guys, that is, that's hypocrisy to to the power of 3. Because you know what I mean, it's like, so they are basically fooling you around, and then and this is how they make money. But it doesn't take anything a lot to see through, that these are the biggest polluters who suddenly pretend to be the, it's pretty much the same. I don't want to go into, sensitive political matters, but it's pretty much the same with respect for minorities. There you are, with companies, huge corporations exploiting people in poor countries, third world countries and so on. And suddenly they care for diversity, and we are such an inclusive and kind and loving company. It doesn't matter that we exploit, people, and
but they exploit people only because you want to buy cheap clothes.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
We are all a
but
part of it.
we are all, of course, but the margins, the profits. I mean, you read the reports, and they keep growing, right? So they are not, basically, it's not like, of course, I want to buy a cheap T-shirt, but still, I actually pay attention whether it's from Bangladesh or. By the way, hi to everybody from Bangladesh. I know we have some listeners from there. But basically,
But if you stop
it's
buying cheap T-shirts that were made in Bangladesh, then people will lose whatever meager
I
money they
know.
make.
Yeah. I know. That's, that is the paradox, right?
What
So
is
it's
the way
not,
out? I don't know. I
the
have
way
no
out is
idea.
basically to buy stuff that is locally produced, and I don't know, it's not produced by, some huge corporation, like H&M or something.
Yeah,
Anyway, we
make
are
your
getting
own
into,
clothes. Yeah.
yeah, make your own clothes, exactly, but I honestly, I have this feeling, like, that's why, this is my love for the marché, the street market, because, when I see, for example, a lady who's selling flowers, and I know, I feel compelled almost to buy. It's gonna make my wife happy, it's gonna make that person happy, everybody's a winner here. you know as the same refers to local producers and so on. I mean, supporting
Yeah.
them is almost like my duty. Of course, my it's set by myself. My internal duty to support the local folks who do something valuable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's from here. I know it's not, going through some sort of a middleman, or any other. So that's really something that everybody could do. I think it's wise. All right, fine. Sorry, no, sorry for that. For a little bit of off topic, politics. But when we think about making money, well, that's how you make money. You fool people. And I said that if everybody's goal was to get wiser, which, by the way, I'm not claiming I'm wise, but if everybody's goal was like that, maybe we wouldn't fall for these sort of, cheap, in my opinion, whatever, greenwashing or rainbow washing, whatever, and see real problems, see real problems of and so on. Because the ideas that are behind it, they are noble for sure. Green, I mean, clear
Yeah.
environment, and did I say clear or clean? Say clean. And respect for minorities, everything that's hyper important. But it's being done by whom? By big sharks, who are just feeding and selling it, commercializing it.
Yeah.
All right, Masha, thanks a lot for
Waking up
yeah,
from
for waking up,
intellectual
exactly.
slumber.
Now, it was fantastic what you said about running a journal. I think it's yeah, I think it requires some further steps on my side, to reflect. Just so by the way, do you keep a journal?
Well, you asked me, and I said I would start. I told you
Are
I
you
have
you already got these
everything,
notebooks? All right, all
everything
right.
I need for it. But
Because I don't think it takes a lot of time. It takes like maybe 10 minutes per day,
no,
something like this.
no,
More?
of course.
All right. So it's not like reflecting. It's like, a few notes,
Mm-mm.
one reflection per day. No,
No,
I've
these would
got the
be
reflection.
notes, but I'm talking about, you know, writing, proper writing,
All right.
not notes.
All right. Not
Building
just
sentences,
all
coherence.
right. All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. That is a complex
No, it's
challenge,
not micro learning or what is it called? Oh, 10 minutes a day, and in a year you will be C1 or
So in that case, it's definitely easier to get rich, than to get wise.
no,
If that is the
it's
path
not
to wisdom.
easy to get rich.
All right.
So I don't know. I don't have an answer.
I guess it's time to put the full stop,
As
anyway,
always.
as always, and leave our listeners with their own
And
thoughts.
you, what do you vote for?
I
Rich?
I think getting rich is easier somehow. I mean, there are many arguments here. Like, first, it depends how do you acquire that. Let's say that your rich uncle dies, and well, you're suddenly rich, right? And this is not
Yeah,
the case
yeah,
of
yeah,
wisdom.
yeah.
If your wise uncle dies, well, you
No, I
died.
mean, but earning this money.
Yeah, then I mean, yeah, there's another question, but I'm not going to ask you that. But the concept of easy money, is there anything like that? Easy money. This
Or
is
winning a
also
lottery.
interesting. Well, okay, you say it's easy exposed, but imagine that. Okay, I'm gonna win a lottery now, so I'm going to, I'm going to, the lottery point, and I'm going to buy a ticket, and what Is it easy? It's not easy. It's hyper difficult. It's the same like finding money in the street. Imagine you go out of your home now and you think, oh, I'm going to find some money in the street, or go chasing. I mean, you may not even find, $1 because, it's not that easy. I mean, sometimes you find it, it's true, and then you say, oh, it's easy money exposed when you found it, oh yeah, it's easy. But it's not, I think, if you
do it
out
professionally.
If you do it professionally, yeah. I mean,
I'm professional money seeker.
Unless begging. I'm not sure about begging. I don't have the statistics of the best beggars.
No, it's not
How
easy
much
because it's there's I'm sure that all territory of the city is already divided,
covered. Yeah.
and it's not easy to find a spot where you can beg.
Okay. Yeah, but I wonder how much can actually beggars make. It's like the best beggars. In the best places. It's probably mafia.
Yes.
But yes, it's interesting. And would that count actually as easy money? Because all you do is you just sit and wait. Right?
Oh, it's very difficult.
It's difficult. You're right. Sitting on your ass, and you can't use your smartphone
miserable.
because it looks it looks weird.
Yeah.
Right? So
you can keep a journal.
Oh, you could keep a journal. Yeah, that would actually. You know what? That would be killing two birds with one stone, Masha. You just opened a fantastic opportunity. Look at this.
People will definitely give more. Well, look at this person.
Look at this guy.
It's not just some wino. It's and
exactly. It's it's a person who's scribbling some notes. It's probably writing a journal or something. And then imagine this: you collect money from the passersby, plus you write a book, and then you sell it.
Wow. Cool. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you for the idea.
All right. Over to you. Or I guess
do we still have time?
I guess we should be wrapping up, Masha. I don't know. I am not monitoring this, but we don't want to bore our audience to death. Opening another Pandora box.
So let's let's another. It's really I will put something I discussed today with my student. Actually, it was not a question, but it
excellent. Keep it. By the way, guys, I think everything points out to us being here again, just the two of us.
Just
next week.
Heads up if you.
Yeah.
You can skip.
So let's leave. Yeah. So let's leave. Let's leave that, Masha. For the next time. Thank you, everybody, for listening from all over the world.
From all over the world.
Yes. And we'll see each other basically next time because, Masha, what? Because this
is
or was
another. That's it. No, okay. Where people can, they know where they can find us. Everything. That's it. Please consider coming to our show. If you don't want to listen to only us,
Yeah, we want to listen to you reflecting.
To death.
All right. It wasn't boring, Masha. Come on.
I hope. I was only waking up from the intellectual slumber. This is basically the description of my summer. I really like this intellectual slumber. Yeah. But I have a lot of food, preserved for the winter.
Excellent.
In case of hunger.
So, Masha, that was another
episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.